Hey guys, Legionuta here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to episode 17 of our daily gaming XP grind. Today we're going to be focusing on construction. So we will be going over a complete XP update, but first I want to show you guys we have 1,187,170 construction XP. So we've already built a ton of the side tables right here. So first thing I want to do is pop a construction potion. And the next thing is we've filled up basically our entire inventory as well as our personal chest with these. And what we're going to be doing is essentially building on these foundations here. And from other videos, hopefully you guys have seen, you just destroy the foundation. And this, I believe, is the fastest construction XP in the game. And it's going to be very important to make sure that you really don't have anything else in your inventory. I left a staff in case an animal attacks or I get hunted. So that would be quick to eliminate the enemy. Another way you could potentially do this is essentially you have a lumber storage bin in the middle, or maybe a couple of them. So that way, instead of getting because once your inventory gets to a certain point, you're going to run faster. So you really don't want to do that. Is it's going to make it a lot harder to make the side tables sort of get built evenly. And this is just going to be a little bit more difficult because you're not going to be able to build as much. So you're sort of wasting space. But ultimately, I think this is crazy, right? I mean, we're already almost at 20,000 XP. It's very important to make sure your construction potion is active, and ultimately you want to make sure that I guess like that's why the lumber storage bins are so important because it's going to keep your inventory incredibly full. So you could place them every so often, sort of after doing this so many times, you'll know where you want them, where it will make sense. It'll sort of break the chain if you're not quick enough with grabbing the ash logs. I'm sorry, ash planks. So that would break the chain. Is going to be the best way. So, in another way, you can sort of slow this down. I forget. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're actually moving a little bit slower than we just were initially. So, you're not losing quite as much space, but you are still losing space. But ultimately, we are going to run out here pretty soon, but we're not because if you already see, we're picking up all the ash planks from underneath the floorboards. So, this just makes it so you can just keep going and going and going. And that's ultimately the goal. You're setting yourself up for just getting ridiculous amounts of construction XP. And I mean, obviously, further down the road, as the game gets more updates, construction will be more and more important, I'm sure, as you're going to want to build more complex features. I'm sorry, well, not really features, but it will be a feature overall. It will just be different buildings and different things in the game that are going to give you different benefits, whether it's better base durability. As the creatures get stronger, that means they're probably going to be doing more damage to your base. And you're going to want these to be durable so that way you have an opportunity to sort of defend it. I think it really comes into an important role when the higher level the item that you're going to be building with construction, obviously it's going to require more ingredients. And some of those ingredients might be actually rather quite difficult to sort of gather, whether it be time consuming or creatures that are guarding them that are just going to make it ridiculous. So I think it could be a lot of things. Like right now, we sort of use stone and we use sandstone and granite. So I'm not sure what other kind of stones they plan to bring to the game. Um, but I think all those things are important to just keep in mind that you're gonna need construction XP to build the different level buildings and things like that. So we did just miss a gap right there, which is kind of unfortunate. But overall, I think we're doing quite well right now, and we still got our personal chest, which is full of ash planks. But this is where like the lumber storage little crate would be very beneficial, as you could potentially just refill your entire inventory with more ash planks, and you really wouldn't need to sort of worry as much about picking the ones up off the ground. But I think those are still going to be important. As you see here, I'm just able to keep going and going and going. But initially, when I started, I wasn't able to pick up the ones from that side that was sort of laying on the ground. So I'm not quite sure about that. It's not the end of the world. But right now, we're at 62,000 XP. So it's quite crazy. And I guess the bigger you want to make your platform to do this, just that's basically the more XP you're going to be able to get. And then you already know, if you saw my last video, one of the last videos I've done where I show you destroying these, and that's actually quite easy. So I'm not quite sure how far we are into this video, but I just want you to realize that basically it has not been that long. I want to say under 7 minutes, and we've got 70,000 construction XP. So we're out of materials. So just remember, we're at 70,000. We're gonna pop this open, and we're gonna grab all these. And then another thing I did was I sort of got rid of all my gear in the top part in my 1 through 8 slots. The only thing I left, like I said, was the staff, so that way I would be able to defend myself. And then obviously, oh, my rune crafting potion went out. I'm sorry, my construction potion. I'm tired. I just got off work. But regardless, I don't even know how long that's been off. Hopefully not too long. But we did lose a little bit of XP there potentially, but ultimately you're going to want to keep an eye on that. So I sort of made a mistake about that. But ultimately right now, uh food and water are holding up quite nicely, so you will be able to do this without really having to bring food with you. So this is it pretty much. I mean, we're just going to do this pretty much for the whole episode and see how much construction XP we get in a 30-minute window. And we'll probably even run over and grab the planks on the ground over there. We've got a ton more of these actually in our lumber storage in our base. So maybe we'll just go grab all the planks over there. I think that might actually be a lot faster to just do it that way. But overall, we're at 82,000 XP. I'm not quite sure how long we've been doing it. And then our potion wore off a little bit earlier, so maybe we would have had a little bit more XP. But I think this is quite crazy. So if you're just trying to sort of maybe not get an insane amount of XP, but just try to set yourself up so you're going to be in a position to be level 99 in construction, or maybe even level 75, or whatever it might be when they finally release it, so you can have access to all the new buildings. I think this is a pretty good way to go about it. So we're going to run over here now and grab more ash planks, and then that's what we're going to do. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could, now that I've got so many on the ground, um, that's kind of what you want, though. You don't really want to mess with that too much. I don't even know why we have these in our inventory. Oh, that's right. So we picked those up because as you destroy the foundations, it's going to leave behind ash logs, which it's not really a big deal, only in the fact that you won't be able to pick up as many ash planks because now your inventory is full of ash logs. So it hurts a little bit, but I mean, not really, ultimately, because you're going to have so many planks on the ground that after you've done this enough times, you sort of just keep going. So the only issue now I'm sort of looking at is if I get up this staircase, am I going to be able to? I should be able to walk across. So let's go ahead and see what that's going to look like. Hopefully we can get over here. But even then, I'd say this video already maybe 10 minutes in. I feel like I could be totally wrong. But even then, we're almost at 100,000 XP. Easy. So let's keep going now and put all these out. So before, when I did this, I never made it this far with the side tables. I sort of stopped where you see those over there that can be picked up. So essentially, now that I'm going to be destroying all these over here, next time I come do this, I'll be able to go a little bit further. So it just really depends on how far you've gone and which material, like the area that has materials underneath these foundations. And I think that that will greatly benefit you if you come back with another load of ash planks. So that's probably at some point down the road we're gonna make another episode where we come back with an entire storage personal storage chest and an actual inventory full of more ash planks. And then that way when we come back, we'll have all these to pick up off the ground while we're building new ones, and we'll also have our inventory and our personal chest, and we may even decide to use a lumber storage. But that would only really matter if we decided to go bigger, because right now I think we might be coming sort of close to the end of what we've built here. But ultimately, I mean, it just depends on how massive you want to take this. But we're already almost at 20,000 construction XP, plus what was it, the 70 plus maybe it was 18,000. So we've already passed 100,000 construction XP. And let's just say for the sake of it, because I really can't see that, so we got quite a bit to go. but we're easily over 100,000 construction XP, and you see here we've got a ridiculous amount of side tables. But what we're gonna do now is destroy them, and that shouldn't take too long, to be quite honest. We just got to do this. Now, keep in mind, sometimes they won't initially break, but over time, you're going to be doing other things in a game, whether it's cutting down trees, whatever it might be. That is going to give it time to sort of destroy itself. But so these ones, you can see they're more in the middle of the actual foundation, and I think that helps get them destroyed. That's why I try not to build too close to the middle area, because it sort of just makes it difficult for them to destroy themselves when I break these. But so it did quite well, but these will all fall in time. So while you're cutting down more ash logs or whatever else you've got to do in the game, this is going to give these an opportunity to sort of break if they don't on the initial collapse. So, but I mean, this is crazy right here. I mean, I don't know that they could even fix it as far as like a update, sort of how they've changed other skills. Because what could you do? It's basically just the stability issue, which is an important fundamental in the game. So you really can't say, oh, well, we can fix it. How could you fix it without basically making it so stability is no longer an issue? And that would sort of just. I've got these chickens and they want to fight, so we're gonna brawl. We're gonna brawl with the chickens really quick. Okay, so they're dead. And now we're gonna break a little bit more of this, and then we are going to just find something to do for a little bit while these all destroy themselves. But for the most part, most of them do destroy themselves. It's just weird to me. I think, see, it's these ones here. They're sort of on the corner. Those don't want to go either. So, but ultimately, they do break. I've tested this theory, and it just is going to take a little bit of time for the ones that haven't broke on the initial destruction of the foundation. So we think we've got all those. So I'm stuck here because I've got quite a bit going on. So you will have to spend some time rebuilding the foundation, but overall, I mean, what was that? I'm just gonna say on the high end, 115,000 XP in potentially 15 minutes. So if you had a long enough foundation, I would easily say you'd probably be able to get like 400,000 plus construction XP in an hour, um, in that initial hour, and then you've sort of got to set up again. So there is a breakdown with it, but even then, I mean, if you really quickly built a new foundation, I mean, that really wouldn't take that long, as long as you've got some ash logs with you and you sort of just rebuild it. But you would have to wait for these to sort of disappear. But interestingly enough, about that, I made another video, and 90% of them destroyed. So I don't really know what the key element and sort of like what is the decision on that. Like what makes it so they destroy sometimes and then other times they don't. So I'm trying to rest here as it looks like night's coming. So we'll give that a minute to happen. And while we do that, I wanted to actually build another. I want to build some wood storage bins out there because that's going to be important. I think just sort of as you build the new structure for the foundation, you're going to be picking up materials as you walk by. So it's going to slow you down. So you may as well just put them in the storage bin, and then that way you sort of have easy access to it. It's called a lumber storage. So I didn't quite remember the exact name. But we're going to go over here and then put this here, and then we're going to talk about XP here in a second. I just think that's a good place for one. So let's go ahead and fill that up because I don't want to pick up a ton that I don't really need to. So we'll put that there. And then we really can't build another foundation right now because there's just too much. If you really wanted to destroy these, though, it wouldn't take a ridiculous amount of time. And they're sort of in a row. So you could just basically go like this if you wanted. So it's not even going to take you a ridiculous amount of time. But it's up to you. I'm going to wait because I don't need to do that right now. And I feel like once I go to sleep, that also seems to help a lot with them actually destroying themselves. I'm being hunted. So it's a good thing we kept the staff. I don't know where they're coming from. Way over there. That's so great that they let me know I'm being hunted from miles away. So let's see. Let's kill these guys really quick. We're almost leveled up in magic as well, so that's quite nice. We'll probably actually level up in magic too in this video since we're so close. I didn't realize. But something I wanted to do really quick was so it go to sleep. And then we're going to grab everything back and put it in our inventory the way things are supposed to look. And we'll check on the stools after we get the magic level, and then also after we sorry, my brain. We'll check on that after we're done with a couple things, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to put this stuff back in our inventory. I don't know why, but I like to have water in this slot. And I don't know why that is, but it's sort of my preference. And it really, I don't think matters. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this stuff back. And it was tough right there. I just wanted to drop it anywhere. But I'm trying to have some sort of system as to have some sort of balance in the way that I do things. So that way everything's not completely a mess. So let's go ahead and kill these two guys. We almost got him. And there's another sheep. And we totally missed. I don't know how. So we're going to kill these guys. Oh, there's so many of them. It's perfect. I guess I should go pick up these resources. I'm excited for more monsters, creatures to come to the game. I feel like we need it. Obviously, I really enjoy playing the game, but I need more stuff to kill, as it seems like I'm always killing the same creatures. But I know it's going to take a little bit of time to get there, but that's okay. It's just something I would like to see come to the game, so we're quite excited about it. Lightning. There we go. So we're really close to leveling up now, and I believe this sheep, I thought there might have been two sheep there. It was kind of hard to tell. So it looks like we just need one more, and there's a wolf. Let's kill him. And there we go. So now we are level 41 in magic. So we're going to go back to the base, and we're going to do an XP update really quick, let you know where we're at. I wish we could have got more construction XP, but we ran out of ash planks. So that's why it's going to be important to do that method over and over again. So you sort of have enough planks under the floor to keep it going. But then it's also a little bit tricky because it's more beneficial to have the planks in the lumber storage, because that way you can go for longer and really don't have to worry too much. But anyways, let's go ahead and just drop all this here, as we can worry about that stuff later. So we're going to come out here and do our XP update. We can actually check on the chairs too. I remember last time I came over here and they all sort of just started to fall on the ground, and I don't really see it doing it right now, but I know they will. I know for a fact. It's just might take a little bit of time. So, oh well, because there's lots of other things to do in the game while they do that. And we've still got the whole other side. So if we wanted to, potentially we could go build there. But anyways, let's talk about our XP update. So we've got 252,000 attack XP, which has not moved because we haven't been focusing on it. Woodcutting, 747,000 XP. Construction, 1,301,000. So we got a ridiculous amount of XP from when we started. It's a lot. I think I can't even remember what we started with, but you could just see a huge difference. Rune crafting, 344,000. Magic, 16,538. And then mining, 4 million, which we're obviously really excited about. Artisans, 2,877,000. So we're closing in on 3 million and cooking 109,000. So the reason a lot of our skills haven't moved up a ridiculous amount is because we've been heavily focusing on getting ready for construction. That takes time. It takes time to do all that wood cutting and get those together. As well as we spent a little bit of time at our old base trying to destroy other things that we really find that we don't really care that much about. So we destroyed some things to get some more lumber that weren't really that important. So This is also something I want to sort of start focusing on in a different way, because I do want to keep adding armor, but I might change the way this whole thing looks. I feel like I want to maybe build potentially, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe two mech warriors right here. And I'm not sure if I'm even going to do it. I just thought it would be sort of cool if there was like these two machine mech warrior like creatures, not really creatures, right? They're robots, but anyway, I don't know why I said that, but basically these guys surround them, and it would sort of be more of like almost like a diorama, like a story that's being told, or sort of just like a war scene rather than have it be just a bunch of troops. I think it would add a lot more detail, and I think it would be really cool. Um, so that might be what we aim for. We're not entirely sure because as of right now, it does look really cool, but I feel like it's gonna need more than just what's going on here. Um, but that's pretty much gonna do it for episode 17. I don't really know if you guys noticed on the right hand side, but some of those side tables actually have been destroying themselves. So it's just gonna take time, and and that's fine. As I stated before, it's just gonna take time. So anyway, guys, we hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Hopefully, this gave you guys a little bit more insight. If you haven't seen our video yet on how to level construction efficiently, maybe you're new to the game and you were curious how to get construction XP fast. Because if you don't really know much about the skill, it can seem very daunting and how you might be leveling it and what that's going to look like. So, hopefully, it was helpful, and it sort of put you on track to get quick XP, but we are being attacked, so we may as well show you what that's going to look like really quick here. So we are annihilating this warband, and they're all dead. So quite crazy when you think about it. It's like, oh, you're about to be annihilated, and in fact, we just wiped their faces off the planet. Oh, there's a second group. This is what I find very interesting. If you're a new player to the game, and suppose you've got all the walls set up to protect yourself, think about that. Like, this is a lot going on right now. And now we actually have to pull out a shield. So if you're a new player, and these guys are actually more powerful, but if you're a new player, how are you going to defend against this? This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, you killed the first wave, they've given you walls to protect yourself, but like, that's not enough. Like, you just sent 12 people, 12 armed guards to basically annihilate some new player in the game. I could have played it differently. I didn't have to die just now, but ultimately I did what I did, and that's fine. But I think it's crazy if you're gonna pit all those soldiers up against someone potentially new to the game, and then you're just like, oh well, we upgraded the walls. It's like, what if you're outside skilling? You're totally outnumbered. But anyways, that's gonna do it. Episode 17. So we'll be back obviously tomorrow with episode 18, and we're gonna keep skilling and keep working on progressing towards having enough XP to be able to reach level 99 in all skills when they come into the game. So thanks for watching, and Legion Nuta out.